Reggie Gray, the high motion man. Nathan Stanley dropping back, sets up, fires across the middle. Reggie Gray, touchdown! San Jose SaberCats! Guyton under center, dropping back to throw, looking left, fires far sideline, pass complete, picked up by Highland, and David will take it to the house! Touchdown, San Jose!
Second down, Abrilla to the tight end, Rangland, and he's in for the touchdown. And for the SaberCats, they're the Pacific Division champions, the 9th division title in the 14 years Darren's been the head coach.
Migna, plenty of time, looking deep downfield. He's got it! Touchdown, SaberCats!
Welcome to SaberCats Weekly here on Comcast Sportsnet. I'm Chris Townsend. We're here at beautiful Dave & Buster's in Milpitas. We're going to go over the highlights of the big win down in L.A. that clinched the Pacific Division and also the Wrecking Ball. Odie Armstrong's going to join us. That's all coming up next right here on SaberCats Weekly.
Hi SaberCat fans, my name is Julia and this is my first year being a Saber Kitten. My favorite part about being at the games is the energy from the fans and being out on the field and dancing and cheering on the SaberCats. Let's go SaberCats!
The Saber Kitten of the Week has been brought to you by Norton by Symantec.
Well, it's always great to have him back on SaberCats Weekly, Coach Jarnigan. And Coach, seems like whenever we have you on, it's after a win. You produce wins for SaberCats Weekly.
Well, I don't know if it's always been that way, but it has this year, so I appreciate you having me on.
So when you think about goals, one of the goals for this year obviously was to win the Pacific Division. With the win down in Los Angeles, you clinched that. How'd the coaching staff feel after that victory?
Well, I think, Coach set 3 goals for us this year, and the first one was to make the playoffs, and the second one was to win the Pacific Division, and then the third one's to win the Arena Bowl. So far, we're 2/3 of the way there, and we've still got the ultimate one out there in front of us.
Dropping back is Nathan Stanley. Lob the ball across the middle. Leaping grab for Curry. He's got it. Touchdown.
Let's go over some of the highlights. The slant to Dominique Curry, and we just see the talent of this guy. A 9-yard touchdown makes it 7-3.
I said it the last time I was on, Dominique just is one of those players that continues to get better and make great plays. And, he's catching the ball very consistently and just ran a great route and made the catch and scored the touchdown. So then gave the little dance at the end like he does. So
Gotta love that. And then Kenny Guyton would actually throw a touchdown pass to make it 10-3. So you're thinking, okay, LA's not a very good football team, but they're off to a pretty decent start. And then Nathan Stanley would get sacked, the fumble. Were you starting to worry there?
I don't think any of us really worried at that point. We knew they were going to come out. They were playing a home game. They were going to be fired up. It's one of those things that when you play a team like LA, you just have to be consistent and stick to the game plan, and that's what the players did.
And then you see Stanley on the next drive to Gray for 15 yards, a touchdown. And now it's time, okay, maybe start and take control of 14-10.
I think Reggie got a little fired up. They put a rookie on him and seeing that route, and he just snapped the DB off and made a great break on it. And it was good to see him get untracked this game, and he had a great game for us.
And then your defense would produce a score because David Highland with a 34-yard interception for a touchdown was huge.
Well, getting David back on the field, I don't want to say it's hurt us over the time that he's been out, but Coach has been trying to figure out a way to get him back on the field. And so David played the Mike linebacker for us. And, David's just got ball skills and ball awareness. And he made a couple of great plays in that game, and that was one of them, and turned it into a touchdown.
3rd and goal from the 10. SaberCats trying to tack on. Another flag on the play. Lofting for Reggie Gray. Against the wall, and he's got a touchdown.
Stanley would hit Gray again, and this would be a theme in this game, these two guys hooking up. And the touchdown, a 10-yard TD, would make it 27-10.
Yeah, I think Reggie had 3 of them in the game, and all 3 of them were great routes that he ran and just made a tremendous play on it.
And then David Highland, again, coming back out, and another interception. Boy, did you miss this guy.
Oh, yeah. He almost scored on that one, too, if he hadn't got pushed into the wall there at the 5. But he made a great play on the ball, kind of tipped it back to himself, got up the wall, and was close to scoring on that one.
Yeah, Reggie Gray a little bit later with a 19-yard touchdown. And Reggie Gray, we've talked about it with you and with Coach. really getting healthy, and when he's healthy, he's one of the top players in the league. And with that touchdown, it made it 41-16 right before half.
Well, Reggie's just, he's a speed receiver, and when he's healthy, he's a matchup problem for defenses. He causes them to have to run some zone coverage, and when you run zone against us, you're going to be in trouble. Reggie will make you pay.
First and goal, just inside the 9. And Stanley lofting to a wide open Dominique Curry.
Now in the second half, you get your first touchdown from Curry to make it 48-16. At that point, do you know the game it's pretty much in hand?
Well, it's arena football,
yeah.
And to say that it's in hand.
But the way your defense has played this year.
But I think there was a comfort level that we all got into, and they were onside kicking quite a bit, and I think that always kind of makes you nervous. We've done a tremendous job over the years of defending against the onsides, but you don't want to give them an opportunity and a spark to get back into the game. And so our defense rose up to the occasion and held them a couple of more times in the second half, and that was the difference in the game.
Always nice winning 75-34.
Yeah, we'll take those kind of wins anytime we can get them. So, makes you a little more comfortable when you get a big lead like that.
Wardrobe has been provided by Casera Clothers.
No question, the San Jose SaberCats have one of the great pregame shows in all of sports. You want fireworks? Oh, we got fireworks for you right here on SaberCats Weekly.
The fans have come to expect the excitement, the fireworks, the fire that we do in the pre-show entry. It's a 5 or 6 hour setup for us to be ready to go. We like to keep it fresh, so every game we try to throw in something new so the fans don't know quite what's coming every single game. But we've got things called mines, things called comets, we've got large propane accumulators. We do a thing called the Coliseum pot, which is a real big explosion flash. There's a lot of wow factor to it, and we throw them in at different times during the entry so no one quite knows when it's going to happen. The fire dragons are probably our most favorite item here at the SAP Center. They make a lot of heat, they put out a lot of fire, they make a lot of noise, and everybody can feel them in the entire arena. If we black out the arena, you can read a newspaper in here when we turn them all on at once. They take about 3 hours to get all prepped and built and loaded and safety checked and ready to go. Every time we push the button, we're putting about a quart of liquid propane up in the air. Now we're using 4 of these for the intro for the SaberCats each night. It looks incredibly dangerous, and you kind of wonder how it is we can run these indoors, but they are extremely, extremely safe. When I energize it, it'll do a quick safety check. It'll bring its own pilot light on. If for any reason there's a leak or we lose ignition, instantly it turns itself off and puts itself into a safe mode. We've got a remote panel that controls this whole thing that allows us to make little fire, big fire, lots of fire at one time, and burn up plenty of propane and excite the audience.
Exciting an audience through carefully orchestrated pyrotechnics is challenging in any situation. The SaberCats pregame show is particularly difficult because it's a live show.
During the pregame show, we have a number of cues where we either hit the fire or some of the pyrotechnic effects. Those are all based on what's happening on the field at the time. Since it's a live performance, we don't time it. What we do is we're actually watching. So when the biker points to a certain thing, we may hit an effect. Or when the Saber Kittens are doing a certain part of their routine, we'll hit a certain effect that coincides with what they're doing. As the team's coming out, we're bringing pyro up to introduce the team. So everything is done to work together with what's going on the field at that given time.
Being close to the field and the action is something which makes indoor football special, but having an audience that close to the field means they are also close to any pyrotechnic display.
Pyrotechnics indoors is different than outdoors. Outdoors, we can go a half mile away from the audience and have just lots of room for error and safety margins. On an indoor environment, we're in a much more tight situation where we're using very, very precision tools, extremely precision pyrotechnics. We're allowed to run them closer to the audience because we know exactly within 1 or 2 feet of where that pyrotechnic is going to work when we hit it off. So we know those performances in advance, and we can design them so that even though they look dangerous and exciting, they're all entirely very, very safe. SaberCats pride themselves on being exciting and loud in the Indoor Arena Football League, and we like to contribute to that. We put a tremendous amount of energy into keeping the excitement up and making the noise. We fire concussions before the game and during the game. Every time there's a touchdown, we fire off another explosion. Anything we can do to keep the excitement and the noise level going here at the SAP Center is what we're all about.
This SaberCats Week 18 Defensive Player of the Game is defensive back David Highland. Making his first start since Week 4, Highland hauled in 2 interceptions, returning one 34 yards for a pick 6. He also had 4 tackles, leading San Jose's defense in a convincing win over the LA Kiss. The Defensive Player of the Game has been brought to you by Fries.com. We got a special treat for you here on SaberCats Weekly. Odie Armstrong, the big man who scores the touchdowns, is with us. How are you doing?
Doing good, feeling good. Great game last night, so I can't complain about it.
How does it feel to clinch the division title?
It feels great. That's step 2 of the process we got, making the playoffs and then winning our division, hosting that first game at home, and we accomplished that, and we're just getting ready to take on Tampa Bay next week.
Now, everybody knows you played for Arizona the past couple of years. You know what it's like to bring it home. When you look at this SaberCats team, do they have that championship DNA?
Oh, absolutely. That was one of the things I looked at, before coming, talking to Coach Omar and other coaches here, and I glanced through the roster, and I played with a couple guys, here and there back in the past, and the pieces we have here now is definitely championship caliber. Everybody stay healthy and on the same page. We got a chance to make a great run.
Well, there's one thing that we know about Darren Arbette. He likes to run the football.
Absolutely.
And he likes to be physical. You talk to the offensive lineman all the time, and it's like, I get tired of pass blocking. I want to hit somebody. How nice is it that you're playing for a team that really values the run game?
It's great. I'm telling you, because, most of arena football is 90+% pass, and we don't get to run the ball much. But here in San Jose, Coach O and Coach Arbette, they love it. I mean, they love the ground and pound, and the big guys up front, we love it, and we've been doing a great job so far.
We don't really talk about the toll it takes on a defense. Tell us the run game, how it truly affects the defense, because these defenses are really built to stop the pass and just rush the quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. They usually bring 4 men. They're coming full speed ahead, not thinking about running past. When we come in and throw a run in and they're caught off guard and holes open up, I think I have the best O-line in this league this year. They open up holes for me, and it's been amazing running behind these guys.
From the 2, Odie Armstrong looking for a hole to the right. He's in. Got into the end zone. Touchdown, SaberCats.
Having balance in your life is not always easy, especially when you're in this long. It's a 20-game season with essentially 18 games and 2 byes. You've got 3 young girls. How tough is that being away from them? They're in Oklahoma. I know you try and get back as much as possible.
It's tough. Thank God for Skype and Tango and stuff like that. I get to FaceTime them, but being away from them is really hard. To watch them, grow up without me being there, I'm missing so much of their life. I try to go back as much as I can when we're not doing stuff here for the team.
What's interesting about you is that, of course, like a lot of guys, you still want to stay in the game when your career's over, but you're also a teacher and you teach algebra. I was telling you off the air, I'm horrible at math. What's it like being a math teacher?
Oh, man, it caught me off guard because it was one of my most hated subjects in school, but the opportunity came for me, while I was coaching in Tulsa Union, and they offered me the job, and I was like, sure, I'll try it out. And it's right at that level to where it's not too hard, so it was perfect for me. I loved it.
Before we let you go, when you look at the rest of the season, what do you want to see from this team?
I want to see us continue to get better. Just finish teams off like we have a big lead, and we'll have a moment where we let up off the opponents. It's like we settle for what the score is. I want to see us, by playoff time, able to finish teams and put them away. Not only just settle for what the score is, just put them away, and at the end of the season, be on that podium holding up that trophy, you know. I don't really care about the hats and T-shirts, you know. I want the hardware. I want the big trophy and the rings. That's what I want.
You need that third ring, don't you?
I need that third ring.
And what do you think that would mean to this team who's battled so hard? There was a little hiccup in the season.
Right.
What do you think that eventually would mean to this team to bring home that hardware?
It'll be a perfect ending to the season. Dealing with adversity in the beginning of the season, change of quarterback, change of different spots here and there, and then at the end, putting the pieces back together and then winning the championship. I think that would be a perfect ending to this season, and it would be amazing to us players.
The SaberCats Week 18 Offensive Player of the Game is wide receiver Reggie Gray. The reigning Playmaker of the Year had 5 receptions for 64 yards and found the end zone 3 times to help secure a Pacific Division title for San Jose. Offensive Player of the Game has been brought to you by Fries.com.
Now it's time to get behind the face mask. Hey, SaberCats! Which of your teammates would win American Idol?
I don't know if we have that in our locker room. We have plenty of William Hungs though.
American Idol. It might be myself. You know, I got a few vocals people don't know about.
Jason Stewart, because I can sing and I can do it all. I'm the #1 fan of myself. How about that?
American Idol, probably me, but I can't sing worth a dang.
Maka.
Can you find that? I'm gonna say George Bussey.
George Bussey. American Idol? I'd say George Bussey. Sings like an angel.
American Idol on this team, I gotta say Bus too, man. That guy's multi-talented. He got a little high note. That's about it, though.
Cats Questions has been brought to you by Norton by Symantec. With us once again here on SaberCats Weekly, Coach Jarnigan. And Coach, we've been crunching the numbers, and I got a fun stat for you. Guess what? If you hold the team under 40 points, you're going to win. You're 11-0.
Well, I think Coach Walker would breathe a sigh of relief because Coach Arbette keeps telling him we have to hold him to 21 and under. So, you know, that's a nice stat to know.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about that, it's crazy because this league, we all know, it's set up for the quarterback, it's set up for points, and to think of how many times you've held an opponent to under 40, pretty amazing, 11 times.
You know, I think it's a great stat, and I think it's a compliment to Coach Walker. I think it's a compliment to our defensive players that we've been able to accomplish something like that. And I think Coach Walker on his board, you know, every week kind of goes in and talks to the guys and sets different goals for them. And one of them is to be the best defense of all time, and I think we're headed in that direction.
After watching the Arizona game, where Arizona comes in with the #1 offense, Arizona's won the past few championships. They were unbeatable. And the way the defense physically manhandled Arizona, you've been a part of some great defenses. Are you seeing this defense as one of those defenses?
Well, I think the difference is, you know, this year we're more physical, both with our defensive line and the different types of ways that we can get after a quarterback and how we attack an offensive line. And I think our defensive backs, you know, if you notice, they don't miss a lot of tackles. I think we're very physical in the back end. They can be very punishing when they have to, and they can cover a little bit. Yeah, I think that's what's made it fun this year. You know, you got guys, they play hard, they play with a passion, and it's been fun to be a part of it.
Speaking of the quarterback, Nathan Stanley, he's a young kid, and you're going to have to ride him maybe the whole way if you're going to win the Arena Bowl. What have you seen the past couple weeks in the growth of this young quarterback?
You know, I think he made some unbelievable throws. He struggled a little bit in, you know, maybe against some zone coverages. LA kind of threw a couple of curveballs at him, and he was able to read it. One of the touchdowns to Curry in the corner of the end zone was combo coverage that he read, and they doubled up on Reggie, and he found Dom in the corner of the end zone. And so I think he's getting better and better every week. I think he's making better decisions. And I think Coach Smith has done a great job in mentoring him and kind of spending extra time with him on film and helping him get prepared every game for the coverages that he can see. And, you know, we said it. Nate's got a great arm. His decisions are getting better, and I think he hasn't scratched the surface of what he can do in this league.
Before we let you go, what is the key coming down the stretch the last 3 games? You've clinched the division, but you can't let up. You got to keep the foot on the gas pedal.
I think the thing with us, and Coach has said it the last 2 or 3 weeks, that it's not really about our opponent. It's about us going out and getting better every week. And I think our players understand that. I think they know that we're not the great. We have flaws like every football team, and so our players know where those are at. They know what they have to do to get better for their position group, and they put in the work. That's a great thing about this football team is they got a great work ethic, whether it be in the weight room, on the practice field, in our meeting room, and they're all working on their craft, trying to get themselves better because they want to be a part of this football team. And that's the biggest difference that I've seen, especially, being a part of the old SaberCats to this new SaberCat team, that I see a lot of those old SaberCat teams in this team. Guys giving of themselves to be a part of this football team and accepting their role and not being a negative influence on the rest of the players. And it's a joy to see.
Make sure you come out on Friday night as the SaberCats are taking on the Tampa Bay Storm, a 7:30 kick at SAP Center, the last regular season home game of the year, and also Fan Appreciation Night. If you can't make it, you can always hear the game on KMBR 1050. We'll have all the highlights for you next week right here on SaberCats Weekly. We'll see you next time.
SaberCats Weekly has been brought to you by Dr. Sharma South Bay Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Casera Clothers, Norton by Symantec, and Fries.com.